Welcome back to a Cornish-Knight's Tale in Battle Brothers as we return to the epic tale of Sir Marcus the Brave and his hand-picked band of henchmen as they set out to make a name for themselves. Last episode, in the fables of the Brotherhood of Kurno, our famous knight started off in Steintram, and then he hired some men-at-arms, some potential men-at-arms, and headed down the road to Klenhoz, and then to Tandorf, where he discovered a location worth invading, which is Lost Man's Shelter, which was overrun by the undead. We also cleared out some unwanted issues in the region, like some giant spiders and some skeletons, and then escorted the caravan all the way up here to Scots Forest. Money-wise, we're okay. Food, we're okay for, and tools, we're doing okay for. We are a little bit low on manpower, and with the public executions and disappearing villagers going on, we are limited on who we can hire. The only person that was in our price range is Burke, but if we hire him, he is going to eat into our supplies quite heavily. We don't have a lot to give him either, besides maybe a hood and another spear. Goods-wise, we haven't got a ton of resources. Having another spearman would be good. Having someone armed with actually some decent clothing would probably be good as well. We have to keep an eye on our money situation. But you have to invest money to make money, as they say. So let's grab this and a spear. If nothing else, you can have slightly better clothing. We are short on money. I am going to sell the silk, even though we can get a better price for it, because we do need to get someone new in the party, so we're going to hire you, which means our money has gone down quite a bit, but we should be able to make it up. Okay, so here you are, you're level 1. You're not actually that bad, so giving him that, giving him the tunic and the spear. I mean, he's not going to be the best person, but he can act as a flanker to stop our spearmen from getting into combat. His melee skill is actually good enough that he's going to be hitting quite well. This stuff is going to be repaired as we go around. I am going to give them knives, these guys knives, just because in case we need to get in behind someone and just quickly start stabbing like a normal human foe, having knives is good. Now we need work. So we had a couple of options, which is hunt down what's terrorizing the folks in Swan Forest, which is quite a lot. Or we could do escort caravan of Philwald about a day to the north. Personally, I'm wanting this one. It's better paid. We get money in advance as well. So, hunt down what's terrorizing the region. Here we go. It might be wolves. Okay, it's going to be some of those guys, which is actually pretty scary. Let's see if we can pull them towards the settlement, and maybe the garrison can come out and help. Okay. We're in actually a pretty bad situation because they're now going to surround it. You need to be able to basically buddy up with your friend. Yeah, so let's get Spear Wall up. You need to basically get up here to support him. You need to get up here to help support him. You're pretty good on your own, so I'm going to have you... Let's try and hold this gap. Nasty hit. So let's try and kill this thing. It's fleeing. We killed that one, that broke its morale. Let's hold off to see what this one does if it gets really close to us. Yeah, it's going to... So let's do a swing. And decapitate that one. You missed. You can come down here and assist the knight. Because you're going to go for another chop, which is fantastic. Our gear's starting to take a bit of a pounding. Yeah, he's got a swing came in and took a nasty chunk out of his ribs. But in retaliation, we did stab this thing in the face. And in comes Burke. Stabs it again. You can't do anything. Come on, Albert. There we go. So, you took an injury. Ooh, not a nice one either. But we did get some horns and the like. You fight the fight over. You walk to the dead Naskara and take a knee. Were it, if not for a gate of ill-shapen teeth, you could easily fit your head into the beast emphasized more. Instead of admiring the dental failures at hand, you instead take out a knife and saw its head off, ripping through the very tough outer layer of skin, but surprisingly easily cutting through the muscle and tendons. You raised the head up and ordered the knight to follow suit. Balder, the trade master, expecting some proof, after all. Okay. A steely-eyed Balder leans forward to get a good look at the Naxxara head that you brought in. That's quite the sight, mercenaries. I'm happy you have brought it to me. He leans back. Leave it on my desk. Maybe I can scare the children with it. The little gits are getting too used to fineries, methinks. Right. So we get our 390 crowns, and no longer is suffering from that, which is fantastic. So... could ask for some news in the tavern. This is going to go off relatively soon. I don't want to buy a ton of stuff unless we have to. So let's just eat our food supplies. I am going to grab some tools. Just because it allows us to get tools and supplies. Medicine were not great for we get to a doctor, we could patch him up. What are they willing to give us? We are in a bit of need of medicine. We could go north, or we could head back down the road. Let's take the road contract. And off we go. Always get a bit nervous about road contracts. You never know what's going to be in them. Something's attacked us in the dark. Okay. Barbarians. Come charging out of the darkness. Okay. Fortunately, there's only 4 of them. They didn't see what was here. So what had happened was, as we were going along the northern road, with Sir Marcus and his band of merry men were going along the northern road, we were attacked by 4 outlaws. Unfortunately for the outlaws, they hadn't quite taken into effect there was another military convoy on the road, another trading caravan on the road, and they are now in for a surprise. Because, well, they were expecting only a few of us. There's a lot more than a few. Okay. Nighttime will give them a penalty to range. So let's let them charge in. And let's not forget our brave Sir Knight. He's going to charge right in. Oh dear. Don't shoot my own men. Oh man, my guy's getting stabbed up pretty bad. It's a nice to fight. In the dark. Stab him in the gut. You need to get your guard up. We're going to chop you down to size with our knight. Pierced through his hand, like the pitchfork was clearly through his hand. One stab to the gut, 2 stab to the gut. Bit of damage, but we got some nice rewards. And some actual good items. A decent shield. Antler cleaver, very crude cleaver, heavy and blunt, but still dangerous. A little bit of money, little bits of pieces. Okay. So. You leveled up. Straight up, get you some more fatigue and some more melee defense. Your resolve is quite low, but having range defense is nice against snipers, so you grab that. And early on, fast adaptation is always good just to guarantee hits. For you, lifting up to level 3. Well, first being able to hit. More stamina. Bit of range defense, methinks, just to help. Okay. So what we're going to pick now. Oh, it's always so hard to choose. Oh, 1 second, folks. Sorry about that. Okay. Right, we're back. So we want to have resilience. Pathfinder for getting around quickly is always nice. Colossus for extra hit points, reduced chance of injury, especially for our front line, is good. Because if they're holding the line, we want him to be able to do it without injuries. Yeah, probably Colossus then. Okay. Because Spearman, like your sealed wall needs to hold while your great weapons do a lot of the damage. Okay. So, after that, Burke is hurt. Not going to lie. You guys aren't in better state either. We managed to get to Fredwald. Thanks for getting us here, sellsword, says the merchant. You take it and hand it over to Albert for counting. He nods when he's finished to carry and lead smiles. Also, thanks for not betraying us and, slaughtering us to a man and all. Mercenary gets thanked in the strangest of ways. Okay. So there is a local holiday. Ooh, actually, wait, that's good. Taxidermist. Paint remover. And that's not worth it. Okay. Let's sell that. And that for a bit of extra money. You've got a nice bit of money. Food-wise, we're okay for food. Herbs. Not great for herbs, but we can get them. That's root and berries, not healing herbs. We can buy them a bit cheaper here. So let's grab some. And grab some cheaper berries. An old wooden shield is exactly the same as that. Okay. I'm gonna keep a hand on. It's not actually worth that much, to be honest. And that spear is bent out of shape. Get it to be repaired. Along with that, and it just gives us some options. Right. What we have is not too bad. You need better armor. So you're going to buy that. Okay. Recruit-wise, there are a lot of people in the village right now. Having something like a poacher, an atomist, ooh. But having something like a poacher would be interesting if he's got a good trick. Insecure isn't great, but having a ranged character early would be fantastic. And having someone who's decent at it is always good. So let's hire him. Let's see what we got. He's actually pretty good. 49 with 3 stars, which means he's got to go up. Oh, actually, wait, that's melee. Ah, nuts. So he's going to be a jack of all trades. Fantastic. Okay. Give him the spear, put him in the back line. Or give him a pit's pole, I'm giving the back line. He can basically do a dual role. We probably want to give him, as soon as possible, then quick hands. Because he's more suited for being in melee. But he can always still pull his weight. Okay. If that's the case, we will need to sell off some of our stuff. Like, we're not going to ever get us a great price for this. But we do need a little bit of ammunition. Food-wise, we're okay. Okay. What's the contract up here? You sit alone, studying a map as a stiff breeze tries to take it off. As you struggle to keep the seat and table, Sigwald, one of your men, approaches and slams a mug on the paper corner. You look up to see he's a bit slack-jawed with drink on his breath. He explains that he said stories of a local by the name of Menloth of Feswold. who had a proposal for you. The maps and the lands they're detailing aren't going anywhere, so you agree to meet with him and hear him out. A dog is snoring at the feet of Menoth of Fiswold. That's him up there. He leans forward and gently pats the hound behind the ears. I hear you have a nose for finding people, sellsword, for solving problems. You nod. It is true, after all. Good, good. I have a task for you, a simple one. Something of great value of me has been stolen in my lockbox. I need you to track down those who stole it, kill them, obviously, and then bring me back to me. What's it worth to you? He opens his palm. I'm tight on crown, so before you ask, this is all I have now. You receive 300 crowns when the council is done. You need to, they need to be payment in advance. Fine. We take slightly less money this way, but we'll take the contract. He should heal up fully in a day. And it is going to be night time soon, so I really don't want to be going out at night. Let's sell that. We'll sell the buckler and these little bits to earn us a little bit of extra money. And we will camp, which uses more supplies, but it's more useful. There's space here to add another so that we can add. Anything interesting? Scavenger would be good. Recovering parts for ammo and battle tools and supplies, very good. But it's 3,000. Yeah, buying a cart and some other bits and pieces would be nice. Right, but Sir Marcus decided we are going to camp for the night, just until morning comes. What do you mean midday? Okay, so they're heading off in this direction. Ooh, 7 thieves. Many brigand thugs? I don't like the sound of that. I mean, there's 5 of us. There's 6 of us and a lot of them. Brigands, just another ploy. They look scared, presumably understanding that Menoth of Phil's paid drafts are out to send upon them. Okay. So what are we looking at? It's just common riffraff. Okay, that's fine. Let's get into a good position. Because they're going to try and push to prevent us from... Yeah, they're going to try and push aggressively to stop us from being able to relocate. Okay. Well, let's start chopping. You should be able to hold your own against some of these guys. Delay. He's really going to try and get in. And they're going to start to try and flank. Nice solid hit. That was what I was worried about. Good thing we can do this though. Backline is starting to break. Ooh, bleeding. No! What am I meant? Cut down tragically in his prime. Revenge! Price of revenge, go out. The first death. Run them down. No mercy. No regret. And let's... let them flee as we mourn our dead. Sweep of Gustav. He died as he lived. Alas. He managed to get his gear back though. After the battle, those that stole the box are dead, and thankfully you were able to find the item itself. Men of the Third World will be more than happy to have it back. But yes, the morale of the group will be low now. 5 days, 5 battles. He only had 1 kill, but he was killed by a thug, which is a bad way to go. Hacked to death by a cleaver in the melee. Sell swords, sell swords. Will you sell me your word of your success? You take out the artifact and chuck it on the table. Sure. The man jogs forward in his turn, takes the item away. He turns back, calming himself, returning to his composure. Good, very good. Here's your money. The loss of a man-at-arms as well is not great, especially since he was actually fairly competent. This hurts a lot. Okay, so we need you to hit. Range defense. And what do we want to grab you for you? Bullseye. What to have? Having extra experience would probably be nice early on. Getting it early on for him is probably the thing we should have had. Crippling Strike with pole arms is good. Let's see. Crippling Strike. Crippling Strike lowers the first to reflect injuries, because injuries actually have a lot of stack ups. So that's always nice for pole arms. But we are down a men at arms, and these guys do not have the wearable. Okay. Get his stuff repaired. You can have the Gamson. The loss of bandages sucks, to be honest. Really sucks. 25 to 30, 25, 75, 6. Bit better at getting through armor, but you're not doing as much. Okay. But it then takes more fatigue. Right, so I'm going to sell this. Sell that. Get a bit of extra money. Cleavers and the like are much better against animals. But we are now short on manpower. So Marcus... Ooh, are they fighting in the dark with... Ooh, brigands. A few brigand thugs, a brigand poacher, a brigand raider. But that's against the company. The thing is, that raid will mess us up if we're not careful. I mean, he's likely going to win because they're professional soldiers. Okay. Level 2 contract. Nope. Let us all have a round. Like, it's like Sir Marcus is going to buy a round for everyone to get their spirits up after the death of their friend. And we are going to then sleep. Come the morn. No way we're doing a first 2 skull. We don't need another range unit. Especially not at that price. I mean, that would be nice to have, but it's going to eat into so much of our money. None of these guys are here either that we need, so we need to basically keep on trucking. Lots of fighting, lots of dead bodies. Something has been tearing up the roads. Thinks Sir Marcus as his group goes through. Right, can't do any contracts. But they do have a larger pool here. I would love to get a squire. But if nothing else, having an actual farmhand... Optimist. That sounds like a nice thing to have. So, what is he good at? He's stout, which means he's going to get a lot of tea. Yeah, like, if nothing else, you can be a half-decent replacement for our back line. Okay. Get you up. Get him a bit of training. In the armory, there's so many nice things I wish I could get. Pikes are probably a good thing. Bill hooks are very good. They don't have any long axes, which are not great. Do I want to pay for some training for him? We haven't got any missions yet, though, so it's a bit superfluous. In the shop section, there actually is some nice stuff. Not that we can afford any of it. That is very nice. Alright, so we are low on money. So let's get on our way. 7 days until we run out of funds, and 8 days before our food runs out. Oh man, they've been raided. Something's burnt down one of the huts. Raided, yeah. And it's a level 2 at that, so Sergeant Kerno is... Well, not Sir Kerno is going to basically decree that we're going to push on to another location. he still has his ambition about clearing out the abandoned house that he's found down there that could be full of riches and fame and fortune. But the others aren't so sure. Okay. We just saw something weird. Something's just triggered. Man, we've got like no luck. The butcher we could use. What was it that we saw? Oh no. Like, let's... Like, fighting without money is bad for us, so we want to avoid fights where we're just... We are knights, so maybe we should have taken that fight. Hard question. The thing is, we weren't going to get paid for it. Without payments, we're not in a great situation. Like, doing 2 skull missions as we are right now is suicidal. We can still get whacked by 1 skull ones. We can't take enough any high level work here. I think we might cut through the forest. Yeah, cut through the forest and we'll head down south. Maybe we'll get lucky. There'll be some interesting work. We are making good progress on the roads. This got trashed as well. It is still a level 1 settlement, so it is still has some degree of provision. Nothing particularly standing out, but we're starting to get some interesting folks turn up. Or militiamen. Missing people is worrying, but they have some nice crossbows would be nice, especially if you're going through armor early on. Probably saving up for a crossbow. Because I think what we're currently armed with him is that he's just got a normal wonky bow. So getting like a crossbow would be nice. A slightly longer range, but it's much better at piercing through armor and against... It has more punch, basically. Okay, so what's the job here that you're asking about? Escort. Okay, dangerous on the roads. How much are we talking? Okay. Southwest. So we're escorting a caravan this way. Okay, there's a lot of nasty stuff on the road. We need the money about a day southwest. Okay. Normally just healing. But we haven't got really enough coins. I'm going to sell off the cleavers. Sell that. Food-wise, we're okay food-wise. We are low on money and we need jobs. And there are no jobs. Okay. And this is the end of the road as well. Don't want to do a level 2 skull mission. Okay. Let's go back along the road. We know there was a turning off this way. Along the way, the presence of renown of knights can grow, and everyone you go, people looking for to join, and not just sellswords, but followers who may be of use. Take a look at our retinue. Okay, that's basically just a retinue thing, perking up, saying, oh yeah, you can hire people. But we are low on money right now, folks. Well, say low, we've got enough to keep us going 8 days, but that's not without food bills. Another 2 skull contract. We'll buy a little bit of grain. Okay. We need work. Let's go up to cargo and see if we can find some work. Okay. There's no work. No point going back up there because we don't have any contacts that we can use to get to work in the city. Through the woods at night. Another settlement though. Level 1 settlement, missing people. The hooded man gestures for you to follow him, nervously looking over his soda. He leads you to the back room of a local tavern. Before addressing you, he takes his time to peek out the windows, probably looking for anyone eavesdropping. A figurehead by the name of Jarnold of Wernham wishes to see you. He is a man of some repute in this town, so understand my discretion. He slides a paper towards you, whereas this direction's written on it. I'm all ears. General of Wernham waves you into the room. You notice that there are pitchfork armed men keeping vigilant watch by means of grimly staring out the windows, though one of the fellows is clearly asleep against the wall. You ask Settlement's mayor what he wants. He gets to the point. Townsfolk in the hinterland are reporting monstrosities taking children and dogs and the like. I know. Now, I don't mean to give leeway to paranoid superstition, but it sounds an awful lot like those reports are talking about spiders. Webnecks, as my father would call them. Webnecks. If it's true, they're likely there's a nest in these parts, and you need to find and destroy it. Are you interested, sellsword? Let's talk about gold. I need to be paid more for this. No way. 80 codes in advance and 320. Okay. So let's camp to allow the morning to come, and we'll be off on the hunt for them. You find a webbed corpse leaning against a lone tree. You slash the filaments away. The child's body slips out and crumples to the ground, its face tight to the bone, a pale skull with eyeballs peeking from deep in its sockets. Tongue is equally receded and there's hardly a nose at all. Sigurd spits and nods. Alright, we're close. Rather, they're close. If it's solace to your folks, the boy died prior to this here state of being. Webnecks bring poison with their punctures and no kid stand survive for long. Well, that's good. Okay, going after a nest is going to be problematic though. Yeah. As you approach, the Webneck nest is silent and clatter of companies arriving seems apocalyptic, with a clink and clank of metals and things sharp in their Drapes. You find a man hanging upside down from a tree, his whole body cocooned save his face, which is stretched and pulled by filaments. He asks you to cut his eyeballs. He asks you to cut his eyelids free of the webbing, which you oblige. See, lids slowly close and crusts of dry eyes closed for the first time in possible days. But then they snap open, the man screams. The cocoon bubbles at his waist and rips apart. Sputtering of tiny black spiders flood out. The man's body jolts violently around and the swarm consumes him. His gargled screams rife with skittering of spiders which fill his lungs and which he coughs out his dying fits. Horrified, you step back. Okay. They're coming right for us, are they? Right. Let's get here first to help. That's not great. You need to get spear up. Okay, you need to then kill this one. 1 second, folks. Right here, and we're back, folks. Okay, that's bad. You need to get up there and help him. Pull out that. Yeah. Poison damage isn't great, so we need to end this fight quickly. There we go. Bit of damage. Didn't get very much for that. Spiders defeated, you have the whole godforsaken place burnt and ready to return to Donald of Wedhelm. As the fires rise, tiny spiders come running out of their bodies, aflame like fireflies in the night. A few sellswords take up an appropriate game of seeing who can squish the most, an affair which ends with a particularly ambitious spiderling almost setting a mercenary's pants alight. Let's be done with this, we have crowns to collect. Okay. Let's get back down to the village. Arnold Welltown meets you at the town's entrance, and there's cries of the crowds of folks beside him. He's welcomed you warmly, stating he had a scout following you who saw the whole battle unfold. After he hands you the reward, the townsfolk come forward one by one, many of them reluctant to stare a sellsword in the eye, but they offer a few gifts of thanks for relieving them of the horror. Fantastic. We won't get much for that. They don't have anything we particularly need either. So let's try and save our money. Hirelings. A woodsman would be good, but he's expensive. Both of these guys are expensive, so we need to basically leave, unfortunately. And head back down to Cargrim. They do have another job, though. A drunken woman throws herself at you. She practically drools literally horrors into your ear, and you beat her off with a stick. Okay. Man comes up. Begone, whore. How many times must I tell you? He turns to you. I am Havard, a man of some import. Horrocks, the steward, has been looking for you. Please follow me, and I shall bring him to you. Horrocks, the steward, offers you some bread and beer, and seems happy to avail himself. After some small talk of how you like Kurga, he gets to the point. The region has been prosperous before, but many of our assets have been pillaged, burned, taken over by brigands. We need you to go to the hunter's cabin outside of Kurga and clear it of any occupants so you can safely send materials there and have our craftsmen rebuild what was once had. Are you willing to assist us in this endeavour? Sounds easy enough. Rest assured, what I'm offering now is a fine price for your work. You'll get 60 crowns in advance and 230 when the job is done. You need to be paid more. Fine. Take that. And this will be probably our last mission for the session, but off we go. You order your men to fan out through the hunter's cabin. You creep through the area with your sword in hand. It turns a corner. You find a man squatting over a shithole. His knees wobble at the sight of you. When you reach for his weapon, you run him through, quickly kicking his body off your blade and warning the other men of brigands who quickly begin streaming out of nearby buildings to arms. Okay. So it's 7 versus 6, but 2 of them are dogs. Okay. The dogs will buy them time. We need to focus on the axeman. Right, you're not going to be much use for this. You can't change your pike over. Okay. Get the spear wall up. That grey axeman, is what I'm worried about. If I get here, we can still cleave. He's going to try and charge me straight on. Okay, so where's he coming from? Arrow to the ribs is still better than anything I can do right now. Okay, so he's flanking hard. You need to block. This is going to hurt depending on who has to turn early on. You missed. That axe I'm worried about. Yeah, he's broken my shield. Managed to stab him through the arm muscle though, so it's not going to be as good. Let's try and break morale. Come on. Stabbed him in the face. Fantastic. A little bit of damage, but we managed to kill everyone. I actually got a short sword out of it, which is nice. You look over the battle and nod, happy to still have your head upon your shoulders, sorry. Look over the battle and nod, happy to still have a head upon your shoulders with which to nod with. Time to return to Horrocks, the steward. Okay. So let's run back to the stewardship quickly. So it's clear. You nod. Horrocks, the steward, gets up and gives you instructions. You are to take a troop of builders back to the hunter's cabin so as it can be rebuilt. Okay. Well, the work's here, safe and sound. You turn back, returning to Horrocks Steward to get your pay. Okay. I'm not a learned man, not a written one anyway. Horrocks Steward returns with a shrug. What a shame. But you are a man of spoken word. You've all owned up to your promise, and believe me, that's rare to see. Your pay is in the corner. The pay is right where he says he is. Okay, so we get that 951, which is really nice. I do want to get a crossbow. I mean, it has nicer range, but this sort of range, but punches through armor a lot more. Let's grab that, some crossbow bolts. I'm gonna sell that and sell the club. Gotta keep the short sword because it probably would be useful. Yeah, see, he's selling a -10 to hit straight off the bat. So let's probably got to sell the wobbly bow, but keep the crossbow. We'll quickly level up. Your morale is terrible. So get that early. And for talents, probably crippling strike, so it's basically a hit chance. So we basically focus fire down the same target with the crossbow. You've leveled up to level 3. Extra stamina. Good range defense. What do we want early on? Probably Colossus for him as well, give him more HP, make him more resilient. So Marcus is leveled up, which is the important one. Swing, melee defense, stamina. Okay. What do we want to get him? Taunt would be useful. Resilience would be really useful. Master of the Sword is also really good. Less fatigue. Recovering, so he's get his stamina back also would be really good as well. Nine lives. I'm probably going to grab Sword Mastery because I want to keep him with the long sword, with the great sword. But it's a long sword, but we can grab him a great sword as well. Let's grab him Sword Mastery. Master of the art of sword fighting, using the opponent's mistakes to your advantage. Skills build up to 5 less fatigue. Riposte no longer has a penalty. Gash has a 50% lower threshold to inflict injury. Split and swing no longer have a penalty to hit chance and gain a +5 chance to hit. Which sounds like a good all-round thing to me. Okay. So there we go, folks. But this is where we're going to leave for tonight. Sell that. Sell the buckler. Sell the silk. There is someone here, it's a mason. That could be interesting. So just before we go, let's check what he's good at. Vision isn't great, but if we're using him as a shield board, like a shield bloke, that would be fine. But anyway, I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been Battle Brothers, A Cornish-Knight's Tale, and I shall see you all again next time, folks. Goodbye.